Before we get started, just a quick reminder, Sane Enough is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult with a qualified healthcare provider for any health concerns. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, and share Sane Enough across all platforms.
Whispering doubts, losing the game. Talking to myself, is reality in sight? Inner battles keep me up at night. Sane enough for a new day. Sane enough to find my way.
Welcome to Sane Enough. I'm Coach Eric, and today we're going to continue our conversation on reframing by looking at question reframing. Now, I know what you're thinking, Coach. We've got all these other reframing techniques. Why do we need this one? Well, this one takes a little bit of a different approach. It involves changing the questions you ask yourselves or to others around you to shift the focus, to alter the perspective, and to create new possibilities. This technique recognizes that the questions we ask, they shape our thoughts, they shape our feelings, and of course, as a result, they shape our actions. So by consciously choosing a different question set, we can direct our attention to something more resourceful, more empowering, to having better, stronger, productive outcomes. So, what goes into this? What is the key to this? Well, first and foremost, you have to understand the influence of questions. You have to come to terms with the concept that the questions we ask greatly influence the information that we seek and how we interpret it. You're not going to get a ton of information about a specific topic if you're asking a different set of questions than the one that is going to extract the information about that topic. If you're dancing around it, you're not going to get there. You have to understand the idea of shifting focus. When you're changing the questions, sometimes you're going to have to redirect your attention from the problem to the solution, from the limitation to the possibility. It's not just a matter of saying, okay, I'm going to ask different questions about the problem so that I can get more information about the problem. You have to also ask questions about the solution. You need to see both the issue and the outcome, especially the desired outcome, because this is going to provide you with a great deal of empowerment. Question reframing empowers us to take control of our thoughts, of our feelings, and of our actions by consciously choosing the questions that we ask. It's easy to just go with the status quo, the why, what, when, how of the problem. But by changing our question set, we can change the data that is incoming, and we can change the way we respond to that data, the way we feel about that data, the way we grow from that data. So how do we apply this? How do we use questioning reframing? Well, the very first thing you have to do is identify the limiting question. You have to understand that the current question set isn't of itself a limiter. So recognize the question that's keeping you stuck or preventing you from achieving your desired outcome. Where are you not getting the data you need to build your growth path? Once you've identified the question, you can reframe it. You can change that question and shift your focus towards a more resourceful possibility. Something that's going to give you not only better data, but data on where you want to get to. Because it's not just about getting more information. It's not even just about getting better information. It's about getting directed information. You have a goal. You have a solution. You have a future self. Frame the questions to address that direction. But you need to also make sure you're willing to explore new answers. Because here's the deal. When you change the questions and you thus change the data that's coming in, you're going to have some new opportunities. and you're going to have new perspectives. And there's going to be possibilities that come up that you never thought of when you were stuck with the old questions. So don't be rigid. Talk about this with reframing all the time. This is not static. This is all about growth and flexibility. So as you reframe the question and you start bringing in new data and you start reaching towards those goals, explore different answers, explore different pathways. Changing the question and bringing in fresh data gives you a great opportunity not only to grow on what you thought was the path, but to grow on a better path. So as we look at this reframing technique, there are really three primary types of question reframing. There's problem to solution, there's limitation of possibility, and negative to positive. So starting with problem to solution, what you're going to do is you're going to use what's and how's to replace why's, which is going to be very common in this technique. You're not going to say, why is this happening to me? You're going to say, what can I learn from this? That'll help you build your data set. That'll help give you the information that you can grow from. You also are going to ask, how can I overcome this mistake, this challenge, this opportunity? You're going to start building solution data sets. And you're not just going to look at it from the perspective of the negative or the setback or the challenge, but also from the perspective of the potential solution and the other potential solutions that are going to start coming to you as you address the growth path to the solution, as opposed to just focusing on what happened. With limitation to possibility, you're not going to focus on why can't I? No, why can't I is limiting. You're only looking at negatives. You need to look at this in a productive manner. So, with limitation to possibility, you're going to go with, what steps can I take to achieve this? And if you're going to do steps, if you're going to identify steps, you need to identify resources, right? So it's not just, hey, what do I need to do? It's also, what do I need to be able to do this? And as you build those lists of things you need to do and things you need to do them, you start creating your growth path, and you're going to start finding some other things, because you may say, hey, I need X, but I already have Y. And if I use Y, I can still get there, and it might even be more efficient. So limitation to possibility is all about taking walls and creating hallways, creating pathways, creating future moves, and then going down that growth path. The third one we talked about, negative to positive. This one's pretty straightforward within the title, right? Don't ask what's wrong. Ask what's good. Don't focus on the bad. Focus on the opportunity. We're not going to sit there and go, man, this is a disaster. This is a train wreck. This is awful. Nothing good can come from this. We're going to say, well, that wasn't exactly what we needed, but this is going to give us a chance to, and now you have that path forward. You can build that data set, that learning opportunity, by taking a positive approach instead of just living and dwelling in the negative. I know that sounds really simple, but that technique actually is the hardest of the three, because it's just so easy to slip back into the negativity. And when you're reframing, you have to use the negativity. So it's always right there. And that's why I like to talk about it as a data set, because then we start taking some of that power away from the negativity, some of that emotion away from the negativity, because it's all just data. It's all just information. It's answers to questions. It isn't a personal attack on you. It feels like it. It hurts, but it isn't. It's information that you can use to grow. Which brings us to the benefits of question reframing. Well, it's going to give you enhanced problem solving, right? If you're stuck in the same old questions, if you're stuck on the negative, you're not going to be a great problem solver. But if you're able to reframe the question, if you're able to focus on solutions, you can generate more creative and effective approaches. You can be more efficient in getting to a solution than if you're just swimming in negativity. And that's going to increase your motivation. Shifting your focus and finding successes, working towards possibilities, that's way better than focusing on what went wrong. So it's going to improve your motivation and drive. You're going to be more energetic when you're focused on positives, when you're focused on outcomes, when you're asking the right productive questions than you're going to be when you're just looking at the negatives and going, why me? So when can you use this? Well, you can use it with pretty much any mistake, failure, negativity. But the example we're going to use is a personal goal. Why? Because we tend to really spiral and lose motivation and stop doing things when we focus on the fact that we haven't achieved our goal yet. We've used the goal of meditating daily in the previous examples. Today, let's use the personal goal of weight loss. We've all had body image questions of some kind. Maybe you think you're too heavy. Maybe you think you're too skinny. Maybe you don't think you're muscular enough. Maybe you think you're too masculine or too feminine. You have all these personal body goals, and weight loss tends to be a big one. So why haven't I lost the 20 pounds I want to lose? Well, asking that question is going to have you focusing on all the things that you did that were negative. Well, I was eating Little Debbie's. I was eating Halloween candy. Stopped for ice cream. I ate the whole pizza myself. All these negative thoughts, all these negative bits of information that make you feel bad and make you want to eat more because eating is making you feel better. So instead, let's say, okay, well, what can I do today so that tomorrow I have better control of my eating habits? That's going to give you a list of things you can do. For starters, you can open up your cabinet and take a look and say, you know what? I know it's a waste of money. I know I hate to throw food away, but I'm going to take all of this food that I know I shouldn't be eating this week, and I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to donate it. I'm going to throw it away. I'll take it to the office and stick it in the break room. But I'm not going to have this food in my house anymore. And I'm going to go to my coupon collection, and I'm going to either throw them away if you still use paper coupons, or if you're like me, you've got a digital coupon app with your grocery store. I'm going to delete the coupons, unclip the coupons that are associated with the snack foods that I'm not supposed to be eating. So if I'm not saving money on them, even though they always run promotions on them, I'm less likely to buy them. And what I am going to buy is some things I really like. I'm going to get some yogurts that have a little bit of something in them, like maybe a little bit of chocolate and peanut butter, maybe a little bit coconut flakes or peanuts, a little bit of dessertiness, but they're yogurt and they're generally better for me than eating the snack cake that was in the cellophane wrapper in my cupboard. So I'm making a productive list of steps. I'm looking at the future and saying, what is the solution? Well, I know I need to have a higher calorie burn than I have calorie intake. So I'm going to take the stairs when I get to work instead of the elevator. By taking the stairs, I know I'm going to burn an extra X amount of calories. I'm going to look at my Fitbit and I'm going to monitor my calorie burn for the day. And as I get towards dinner, I'm going to allow myself to have a little bit more dinner if my calorie burn today was productive. And if it was less productive, maybe we'll have that salad with salad dressing on the side. I'm creating a list of steps of actionable items so that I can start moving towards my goal. I'm going to ask myself these questions so that it's more about the process and less about the shortcomings. I'm going to look at it as an opportunity to really evaluate the goal. Instead of aiming for 20 pounds, should I instead be aiming for a calorie number? Should I instead be aiming for a count number? Maybe those things should be in addition to the overriding goal. I'm not going to ask, man, why do I keep failing? What is wrong with me? I'm going to say, what do I need to do to learn from the fact that I ate that pizza today? Well, I didn't have a good answer in my refrigerator for what's for dinner. So I got on the speed dial to the pizza place. So now I know when I go to the grocery store, I need to provide myself with some quick eating options. Maybe grab a rotisserie chicken, put it in the refrigerator, make a better grocery list. I list out those steps so that I have a data set to work with so I can reach that personal goal. So when you're looking at this, you need to consider these key things. One, you have to be aware. You need to pay attention to the questions that you habitually ask yourself and build a better question list, or at least an additional question list. You have to have some intentionality. You have to consciously choose these questions, and you have to consciously choose them in a manner that aligns with your desired outcome. You have to choose questions that are going to build your productivity list, not choose questions that are going to focus on your negatives or your failures. And you have to be flexible. You have to be flexible. If it turns out that focusing on calorie count or focusing on steps or focusing on calorie burn actually gets you to the goal faster than focusing on pounds lost per day, then stop getting on the scale every day and start counting the calories you're burning. Start counting the steps you're taking. Start counting the positive things you're doing on a daily basis instead of only writing down the negative outcomes of what you're doing on a daily basis. And if you can consistently apply this questioning reframing, if you can consistently ask better questions, additional questions to get better input, better data, give yourself better steps towards personal growth, you can transform your thinking patterns. You can unlock your potential, and you can create more positive and more fulfilling outcomes in your life. And that's going to make for a happier you. I'm Coach Eric. This has been Sane Enough. We've been spending a lot of time on reframing, and I hope that you practice these tools. I hope that you go home today, find a personal goal that you've been coming up short on, and ask better questions. Reframe for a better you. That's going to bring us to the end of our reframing series here on Sane Enough. I know it was a number of episodes, but I felt like it was better in 15 to 20 minute chunks than it would have been as an hour and a half or so of me just really hammering you with these techniques, because they take practice. They're hard. They're very, very effective. And once you get good at them, they're really, really efficient. But man, it's a grind here at the beginning. So pat yourself on the back for giving it a try. Give yourself the flexibility to make some changes and the forgiveness to pick yourself back up when you stumble, and reframe in a manner that works for you. We'll end this episode the way we ended the last few, with one of those days from Atomic Phonographs. I'm Coach Eric. This has been Sane Enough. Thank you for taking the time to learn about reframing.
It's gonna be a good day. Got a hole in my socket, I'm running late. I need caffeine, but the only coffee is a stain on my mug. Bread's gone moldy, even a PB&J is a bust. Man, I don't even have a clean spoon. Yeah, 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 it's one of those days. Yeah, one of those days. Gotta figure it out. Yeah, yeah, at least I got 2 feet on the ground. Yeah, it might be the wrong side of the bed, but hey, I can say I woke up. It's been a good day so far. My truck won't start and my phone won't turn on. I guess I'll walk, cause I can't get a ride round here anyway. Now of course, the rain's coming down in gusts and sheets. I guess I should have brought a boat, but you know, I don't even have an umbrella. Who carries one of those anyway? Not me. Yeah, 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 it's one of those days. Yeah, one of those days. Gotta figure it out. Yeah, yeah, at least I got 2 feet on the ground. Yeah, it might be the wrong side of the bed, but hey, I can say I woke up. It's been a good day, I swear. I stumbled in like a wet dog, no towel in sight. Maybe I should just call it a day. Hell, I should call it a night. And then a stranger bought me a brew. Yeah, man, you know I needed that. It just shows a little kindness goes far. Now I'm sitting here making friends at the bar. Someday this will be a good story to tell. Good times to have, no time to dwell. So let's order wings and fire up the jukebox. Next round's on me. Maybe, just maybe, things do turn around. If you look, kindness can always be found. A stranger's smile,